Good day, this is Leadership TV News at noon. I am Cynthia Onwado. The federal government has said the fact that Nigeria accepted grains from Ukraine to combat hunger does not make the country a weak or failed state. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, disclosed this on Tuesday in Abuja at the Leadership Annual Conference and Awards 2023 with the theme An Economy in Distress, the Way Forward. Idris was reacting to the comments by the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, who spoke at the event moments after being presented with the Leadership Politician of the Year 2023 award. Obi had criticized the Nigerian government for accepting the supply of grains from Ukraine, a country currently at war, to combat hunger, describing the action as shameful.
I read yesterday that Ukraine is giving Nigeria grain. Ukraine is at war. The whole of northern Nigeria is 268,000 square kilometers. Ukraine is 603,000 square kilometers. They have no reason to give us grain because we have the land. Why are they giving us grain? Because 60% of their land is cultivated, 60% of our own is uncultivated. And the people even say it's for Northeast. I might be governor of Niger State is here. Niger State can feed Nigeria. Niger State can feed Africa. Niger State is occupying 76.3 thousand square kilometers of land. They can feed Nigeria.
At the occasion, countered Obi with the example that Egypt gets about 60% of its grains from Ukraine, adding that the fact that Nigeria is having challenges at the moment does not make it a failed state.
Let me say that it is not all bad news all the time. Yes, it may be true that Nigeria has accepted grains from Ukraine, but that is not on its own a very bad story. Egypt takes in about 60% of its grain production from Ukraine. And I know that our elder statesman here, Mr. Peter Obi, is also understanding the Egyptian economy. The fact that 60% of the grain production in Egypt is coming from Ukraine does not make Egypt a failed state. Second, the fact that we are also having a lot of challenges of the moment does not also mean that Nigeria has actually failed. I'm glad when the guest speaker said that the issues of the moment didn't just start today. It started over a period of time. So all of us have a share of the blame. And Mr. President is not shying away from that. Mr. President is saying that who will tackle this? He has taken very bold decisions.
Moving on now, members of the Osun State chapter of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN, have suspended their over 3-month industrial action. The state chairman of the union, Comrade Benga Oludire, in a statement released to newsmen on Tuesday, said the suspension is with immediate effect. The workers had embarked on strike since November 22, 2023, over alleged high-handedness of the state Chief Judge Justice Adepele Ojo, suspension of some of their members, and non-payment of wardrobe allowances, among other demands. Eludire directed the judiciary workers to resume duties on Monday, March 11, 2024. Now, contrary to a report announcing the resumption of visa issuance to Nigerians by the United Arab Emirates, Special Advisor to President Bola Tinubu on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, said the document was not authorized. The document on Tuesday reportedly announced the resumption of visa services to Nigerians effective from March 4, 2023. Recall that the United Arab Emirates had imposed visa restrictions on Nigerians and
Ukraine
nationalities of about 20 other
103,000
African
square
countries in 2022.
They have no reason to give
the
us
affected
grain.
countries are
Because we have the
Nigeria,
land.
Uganda, Ghana,
Why are they giving
Sierra
us grain?
Leone,
Because
Burundi,
60% of their
Sudan,
land
Cameroon,
is cultivated.
Liberia, Republic
60%
of
of
Guinea,
our own
Gambia,
is
Togo,
uncultivated.
Democratic
And the people
Republic
even
of
say it's for
Congo,
Northeast. I
Senegal,
might be
Benin,
governor of
Ivory
Niger
Coast,
State.
Congo, Rwanda, Burkina Faso, Guinea-Bissau, Comoros, and the Dominican Republic. Reacting to the report, Onanuga, in a post to his X account Tuesday evening, denied the return of visa processions, or rather processing to Nigerians, saying the document in circulation was neither authorized by Nigeria nor the Arab nation. Operatives of the Maiduguri Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) on Tuesday arrested 21 trucks loaded with food and non-food items headed towards neighboring countries. EFCC's head of media and publicity, Mr. Dele Oyewale, in a statement said the trucks were intercepted in a sting operation at major exit routes along Kalabari, Gamboro, Ngala, and Bama roads in Borno State. Oyewale said the foodstuffs were clearly concealed in the trucks that would have gone undetected but for the vigilance of the operators. He disclosed further that the waybills covering the goods indicated their destinations at Jamene, Chad Republic, Central African Republic, and Cameroon, respectively. The EFCC spokesman added that those arrested in connection with the smuggling attempt were being profiled and culprits shall be prosecuted after investigation. An Ekiti State Magistrates Court on Tuesday remanded a 25-year-old man, Babuga Lede, in the correctional center for his alleged involvement in the killing of two traditional rulers in Ekiti State. The traditional rulers, the Elesun of Esun Ekiti, Oba David Ogunsaki, and the Olumojo of Imojo Ekiti, Oba Samuel Olushola, were waylaid and killed by gunmen while traveling along Oke-Akko-Irele Road on January 29th. Their third colleague, the Alara of Ara Ikole, Oba Sunday Fatoba, who was traveling with them, managed to escape the attack. The police prosecutor, Yomi Osolale, while arraigning the suspect, told the court that there is probable cause to order the remand of the defendant at the correctional center in Ado-Ekiti. The magistrate, Olubumi Bamidele, ordered the remand of the defendant at the Ado-Ekiti correctional custody pending legal advice from the DPP. He adjourned the case till April 24th for hearing. And there was a power outage in the Senate wing of the National Assembly complex for several hours on Tuesday, forcing the lawmakers to commence the plenary about 2 hours behind schedule. The session, stationarily scheduled for 10 a.m., did not start until about 2 p.m. shortly after power was restored and the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, arrived in the chamber. Rule 8, subsection 2 of the Senate Standing Rule, as amended, requires that plenary should commence by 10 a.m. on every legislative day. While the outage lasted, there was heat in the chamber, making many of the senators who had arrived early for the day's business feel uncomfortable. Mr. Akpabio later explained that the outage made him arrive late for the plenary. He then apologized to the lawmakers for the inconvenience they experienced while it lasted. Chairman of the Committee on Senate Services, Sunday Karimi, said the power outage was caused by a fault in the generator. The Seme Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service has intercepted a truckload containing 400 bags of beans valued at 61.4 million naira. A statement posted on the service's official X handle, formerly Twitter, disclosed that the Customs Area Commander, Timi Bomodi, made the announcement of the seizure during a press briefing on Tuesday. Bomodi further disclosed that the seized beans will be auctioned to the public. In his statement, the seized beans with a duty-paid value DPV of 61 million naira have been deposited in the government warehouse for safekeeping and are set to be auctioned to the public. The area controller also reported 168 interventions by the command resulting in the seizure of various items including foreign parboiled rice, petroleum, vehicles, general merchandise, illicit drugs, and locally manufactured guns. And now some sports news. Super Eagles captain William Thrust Ekong has revealed that he considered leaving the Super Eagles before the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. Ekong admitted he was not on speaking terms with the former Super Eagles coach Jose Peseiro and was concerned about the treatment he received from the Portuguese after the disappointment of the team missing out on the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. At the 2023 AFCON, where the Super Eagles lost 2-1 to host Cote d'Ivoire in the final, Ekong shone like a million stars and led the Super Eagles. He scored 3 goals at the tournament, taking his total tally at the AFCON to 5, the most by any defender in the competition's history. Ekong was voted as the tournament's most valuable player. Speaking with CNN, the 30-year-old stated he didn't speak with Peseiro for months and considered quitting international football. It resulted in us not actually speaking for a few months, Ekong told CNN World Sports' Amanda Davis. That was the time where my pride and ego, I think, maybe got the better of me. I thought about stopping. Thankfully, I've got a good group of people around me who took me out of it. And now finally on entertainment news, Davido's logistic manager Israel Afere, popularly known as Israel DMW, has revealed that his boss and socialite, Cubana chief priest, intervened in his marital crisis. He said the duo of Davido and Cubana chief priest tried to convince his ex-wife Sheila to stay in the marriage, but she refused. Speaking in an interview with media personality Daddy Freeze, Israel DMW said, "My wife left my house August 6th. Even before then, she had been going out. After she left, I started begging her to come back. Even my boss, Davido, and Cubana chief priest begged her to return home. A lot of people also begged her. They asked her what the issue was, but she couldn't give any sensible reason." He said the church and their families also intervened, but to no avail. Well, that's the news at noon here on Leadership TV. For more of our news stories, you can log on to our website www.leadership.ng. Many thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080 3688 61